بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, then some of you requested and asked questions regarding when is the right time to pause, when is the right time not to pause and resume in one's recitation. Is this an okay place to pause? Does it affect the meaning? Does it not affect the meaning? And so for that reason, we decided to carry out this lesson this evening after completing Tuhfatul on Monday. So this is a separate lesson. It does come in many of the books of Tajweed. Some Mashayikh and Qurra, they have separate small treatises authored on this subject, and it is very short and simple. أحكام الوقف والابتداء, rules of pausing, stopping, and resuming in one's recitation. يعني the ahkam related to when it's suitable, when it's appropriate to pause in one's recitation, when it's a must and necessary, and when it is يعني قبيح, when it is detested, disliked. And inshallah, as you will see, it is a very short and simple lesson. Amongst the Qurra, there are some rules placed regarding pausing in one's recitation. And as we've mentioned, when it's suitable to pause, when it's disliked to pause, when it's necessary, and so on. And they have been divided into 6 types of pauses. The first of them, al-waqf al-tam. Al-waqf al-tam, the perfect and complete pause. الوقف الكافي, الوقف الحسن, الوقف القبيح, الوقف اللازم, and الوقف المتعانق. So الوقف التام is the pause that is a complete and perfect pause. That which comes after this pause has no connection to that which was recited prior to pausing. And we'll bring some examples. So this is a perfect pause. This is the first type of pause, where if you were to pause here, that which you recite after is not connected to the ayah before. It is perhaps another subject, another part of the passage in the Quran. Al-waqf al-kafi, the pause which is good, it is sound, it is correct to resume from where you pause. However, that which you recite after is connected to that which came before. So al-waqf al-tam is complete. There's no connection between when you pause that which is before the pause and that which is after the pause. Al-waqf al-kafi is a good pause, and is permissible. There's nothing wrong with it. However, that which is recited prior and after is connected. An easy example of that is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Al-Waqf al-Hasan, it is sound and correct to pause here. However, resuming from here is not befitting due to losing some of the meaning of that which comes before. So it is better to repeat some of the previous words to express and come with a more perfect and complete meaning of that which was intended to be understood in this ayah. So it's a place where someone can pause. La bas is okay. And even if you were to continue reciting from there, la bas is not harmful. However, it is better and more complete and more eloquent that you go back to a portion of that ayah, you could say, and resume on from there, so that the meaning is perfectly understood from that which was intended. And then we have al-waqf al-qabih. al-waqful qabih. It is the pause which corrupts the meaning, and it is disliked, it is detested, and it is a pause that one should not make. And this is the, as it will come, the signs that come in the Quran, we'll mention in a moment. And we have al-waqful lazim. This is the obligatory pause. You must pause here. If a person was to continue here without pausing, it would somehow corrupt the meaning. It would not come as that which is intended. And then al-waqf al-muta'aniq. Al-waqf al-muta'aniq, this is a part of an ayah, and it's easy understood when I show you the example. It is a part of an ayah where there are two pauses. Many of you will be aware, at the beginning of Baqarah, you have the three dots. And whenever you see the three dots, you'll see further on, whether it's close by or far away, another three triangular shaped dots. That is al-waqf al-muta'aniq. It is optional to pause at either the first one or the second. And you can choose which one you can pause at. However, it's lazim, is a must that you pause at one of them. You must pause at one of them. As for which one of the two, then that is up to the reciter, the qari, to choose. And then a note to mention, to remember, when a student is learning how to read Quran, for example, they're memorizing, then if they were to pause anywhere, even if it is a waqf qabih, detested place to pause, then la bas, there's no harm with that due to the necessity of learning. And the student generally chops the ayah into sections or words when they're memorizing, repeating. They add a word and repeat, they add a word and repeat. Somewhere along the way, they are bound to make a pause that is necessary, or not make a pause that is necessary, or they will make a pause that is forbidden, detested. So this is inevitable when the student is learning. So there's no harm in that happening when a person is learning. However, at the same time, and as you know, when the student, the talibah, learns from the teacher recites to them. So the teacher should make the student aware when they are learning, if there's a place that they should avoid pausing. They should not pause here, or they should pause here. This is better to pause there, and so on. And then we have some examples here. Al-waqf at-tam, the complete and perfect pause. Complete and perfect pause. And we have here Alif Lam Mim. And this waqf here, this pause, if you make a waqf here after the first ayah, then this is correct. It's tam, that which comes after this part of the ayah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. There's no relation of it, and it has no relation to Alif Lam Mim in and of itself. So this is an example of a waqf that is tam. So you've paused somewhere, that which comes after the pause is not related to that which came before. Al-waqf al-kafi, and a pause that is good and is correct and is precise. However, that which comes before is connected to that which comes after the pause. So we have هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, the ayah. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Guidance for al-muttaqeen, the people of taqwa. And here, this is in ayah number 2. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Those who have iman in the unseen. They believe in the unseen, and they establish and uphold as-salah, the prayer. So here, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, al-waqf, and then الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, and continue. This is a waqf that is kafi. It's correct. However, we mentioned guidance for the believers, those who have iman in al-ghayb. So there's a connection between that which came before and thereafter. Al-waqf al-hasan. Al-waqf al-hasan. This is the pause that is sound. If a person pauses, And even if they continue, however, it is better to go back. So we have in the ayah, so this waqf al-hasan in al-Baqarah, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. For them is a severe, painful, hurting adhab, punishment. بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ, due to that which they did from lying and denying and disbelieving. Yani al-haq, the truth. So here the pause, for them is a painful adhab. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ, because of that which they used to do. So for that reason, it is better to connect. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. They have for them as a painful torment, punishment for that which they used to deny and negate from al-haq in the dunya. So here you have al-waqf al-hasan, an example of al-waqf al-hasan. And if a person, and I'll send this document out, if you search these, you'll find many more examples which will make the rule clear. However, just for the sake of brevity and making our lesson concise and short, we've taken one example for each. Al-waqf al-qabih, the waqf that is disliked, detested. We have here in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى. O you people of Iman, O you who believed, do not come close to the Salah whilst in a state of being drunk. And this is before the abrogation, when alcohol was prohibited outright altogether. O you who believe, do not come to the Salah, do not approach the Salah whilst you are drunk, in a state of being intoxicated. So I've underlined the sections I was referring to here, the pause. So this pause here, الوقف القبيح. If you were to say now, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى, and it changes the meaning altogether to something يعني عجيب, something قبيح, something detested. It would then mean, if you were to pause here after salah, O you who believe, do not come close to the salah. Yani don't pray, don't come close to the salah. And also, antum sukara, you are drunk. So we see here, the meaning changes outright if a person was to pause here. And the hukm here, and prior to the prohibition of intoxicants, they were told, don't come to the salah whilst being intoxicated. But if we were to pause there, then it would mean, do not approach the prayer altogether. And also, وَأَنْتُمْ سُكَارَى, and you are intoxicated people. فَهَذَا وَقْفٌ قَبِيحٌ. This is واضح, it's clear. This is a pause that is detested, it is disliked to stop here. And places as such, you will see the marking that we will mention in a moment. The la, lam alif that comes, the la, la for no pausing here. Al-waqf al-lazim, the waqf that you must make. إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون والموتى يبعثهم الله. Indeed, those who respond are those who hear. وَالْمَوْتَى يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ, the rest of the ayah. And as for the dead, then Allah will resurrect them. If you were to continue here without pausing, so this is waqf lazim, you must pause here. If you were to recite without pausing, with no waqf, and you said إِنَّمَا يَسْتَجِيبُ الَّذِينَ يَسْمَعُونَ وَالْمَوْتَى, if you were to stop there now, verily they respond, those who hear, and the dead. And the dead, they respond, they hear. Well, and this, of course, no doubt, changes the meaning. Changes the meaning, as we know, the dead, they do not respond. And so here, waqf lazim, you must pause here to separate, make distinct that which comes after, is separate from here, to be clear in its meaning. And al-waqf al-muta'aniq, as we mentioned, these three dots, everyone should be familiar with them. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So we paused here. A person can pause either here or there. So they would recite ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So a person makes waqf here or they make waqf there. هذا سهل. This is something simple in reality. And last but not least, as we mentioned, this is a simple and easy lesson. Very easy. We have the signs, علامات الوقف, the signs of that which comes in the Quran. يعني الصل, يعني القلي, and the jim and the mim, the lam alif, and al-ta'anuq here. So here refers to, the sad refers to يعني al-wasl, يعني al-sil, al-sila. So al-wasl, when you see the sad and the lam, yeah, then this means sil, يعني connect. It is better to connect, as we mentioned here. Continue, يعني you can pause here, it's optional. However, continuing, making a sila, connection, connecting, continuing is better than pausing. And then we have this sign comes here, referring to يعني qif, to stop. So that means it's an optional pause. However, pausing here is better. But it's still, these two is the choice of the reciter. The reciter chooses when you're reciting, you decide if you wish to pause. However, this one is better to continue and not pause. And this one, it is better to pause and not continue. And then we have the jim that comes, al-jawaz, that refers to the permissible pause. Pausing and continuing here without pausing are the reciter's preference. So it's up to you. Neither is afdal, neither is more better than the other. So if you pause or you don't pause, ala kayfak is up to the reciter. Then we have the meme, the waqfun lazim, and as we mentioned previously, a necessary pause. Continuing here without pausing affects the ma'na, affects the meaning. And then we have the lam and the alif, لا تقف, do not pause. A forbidden pause. Pausing here affects the meaning. And then we have alama al-ta'anuq, the sign of the waqf al-muta'aniq. Obligatory to pause at one of these two marks. However, it is optional and at the choice of the qari which of the two places they want to pause at. And that is the end of ahkam, as I mentioned to you, ahkam al-waqf al-ibtida. It is something very simple, very easy. However, that which makes it easier is when one knows the meaning, the ma'na. So just as you learn Quran and you learn ahkam Tajweed, then I encourage the brothers and sisters to put some time aside and be consistent and learn al-lugha al-arabiyyah, to learn the Arabic language, as that will make that easier for the person. As for the one who is not learning and is not able to at this moment in time, then even if they look at the English, or if they ask the teacher, when they learn the ayat, where to pause, then inshallah that will be sufficient. That is the end of our lesson. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pardon me for any shortcomings over our lessons, and to reward every listener. لِكُلِّ قَارِئٍ وَكُلِّ سَامِعٍ. Everyone recites and everyone who listens, may Allah reward every single one of you. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.